what I've noticed as somebody that talks about uh, power a lot, nature of submission, dominance, evolutionary psychology, understanding it, is that a lot of people, um, well, there are quite a fair few people that get uncomfortable just the moment the word power is mentioned. And it's, I think it's just because the word power is associated with a lot of things. Um, and my position of power is, I think it's, my position, or just in general, is I think it's, if you're a good person, or if you care about being good, then it's your moral responsibility to care about power. You shouldn't be uncomfortable about it at all. I think that a lot of people associate caring about power as um, a, a negative thing, and this is a really big problem because in the world that we live in right now, there are a lot of people in power that are not good, that are harming a lot of people, that are using their power to destroy the world. Our planet's literally on fire right now. And the reason why they're in power is because a lot of people that care about doing good are afraid. Um, well, either afraid to get power so they can use it for good, or they just let these people take power because they're afraid. And this is really bad. I think this is something that I realized over the years is a very negative thing, not a good thing amongst people who are who say that they're good, to ignore. Because if there's one thing that we need to change in this world, it's who has the power. There are so many times where I wish really good people had that power, but then I look at them and they're, unfortunately, they don't have the strength to retain power, because unfortunately with power there comes a lot of things that you have to handle well. Like, for example, in my experiences in life, I've come across people who are like sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists, people that are inherently obsessed with power, don't want to actually use it for good, but just like having power, doing a lot of things to try to take it away from me. If you're not aware of these things, it's very easy. Aware of what they're doing, aware of the nature of the cruel nature of wealth and how people can be. It's very easy for these people to take the power away from you and then use it for bad things. And so this is something, as a critical person that doesn't follow the societal norms or say things or do things just because it makes people uncomfortable, something that I've realized. And I'm very grateful that I realized this, because it's why I've become such a strong person and have been able to withstand a lot of people who use dominance for bad reasons. And so I, throughout the process of me becoming a dom, I realized maintaining the position of the alpha is so important. I was able to influence so many people to do good things, to strive towards a better world, strive towards recovering a lot of damage that we've done already in the past, and hopefully use that good to prevent the world from, or just prevent the world from just collapsing, and just everything being destroyed, which is where it's heading right now. And along the way, I've also had to come across a lot of people that have tried to take that away from me and use many tactics to do that. Try to defame my character, try to all sorts of things. Horrible, but I'm glad I experienced, because it taught me how brutal the world is. I kind of like to envision my life as if I'm in a zombie apocalypse. And I think this perspective is good because you see in zombie, these movies, that it's the strong, really strong people, the ones that understand the cruel reality of the world, that know that sometimes it means, having to get a gun and killing somebody or somebody you love that's turned into a zombie in order to save everyone. And yeah, I've become that person. I used to be somebody that's just like, oh no, just always be nice to everyone. Even if they're treating you badly, just, be nice and they might change. No, that's not the reality of humanity. It's very naive. And if I still had that mentality today, I would be one of those people that would die first in a zombie apocalypse. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't have the strength to survive and do what's necessary to protect everyone. To the position of somebody who's an alpha is a very strong position. There's a lot of responsibilities involved. There's a lot in there. There's going to always be people that are going to try to take away. It's exhausting. It's ideally I'd prefer to just be a little sub because it's less work. But no, there's responsibilities. There's so much at stake, and there's so much importance to being a dom because then you can use that to enhance, to use that to hold people accountable, to get them to line, stay on your mission, join your mission, and to fucking care in this world where the majority of people don't care. Yeah, so what I did was, throughout my experiences with coming across people, the most dominant personalities out there, right? And boy are they challenging. I've come across the most difficult men. And that involved, I almost lost a power play once. And that would have been very, very bad because if I did, then I lose. Then he can use that power to do bad things. So what happened is I ended up realizing that using logic and reason to dominate someone is not enough. My empathy is dangerous in many circumstances is because people can use it to their advantage, and that's what's happened in my whole life. Where I just have a tendency to put others first over myself, which is not good. It's not moral to do that. You must view everyone equally. So what I did in order to ensure that I knew how to protect myself in situations where I had to be I had to win a power play in order to protect others, was I created an alter ego. So this is another personality, completely different personality to the one that I have now, or just the one that you're seeing now, that makes up for all the weaknesses in my default personality. So she's everything my submissive side is not. Everything. She's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I need to make sure that she's as terrifying as humanly possible. Like, the more terrifying the better, because the more strength you have, more ammunition you have, the more likely you can protect yourself in survival situations where you need it to do good, or you just need it to survive, and survive the zombie apocalypse. What is my alter ego like? So she's insane, even though like logic behind it, like I'm very logical, like I appear to be very sane. She appears to be insane because what that does is its unpredictability leads to a lot of fear, creates a lot of fear in people. They don't know what to do. And if somebody thinks I'm insane, especially if they know that I have a very lot of empathy, then that could mean that I could switch and do something that could be very detrimental to them. What else? She's swears a lot. She acts like she has a lot of ego, which can be to advantage because if people think, or like their enemy views them as somebody that has a lot of ego, then it's yeah yeah, coming soon. Give me 5 minutes. That means it's less likely that you can walk all over her. Very sassy. And a total cunt. So yeah, she's kind of seen as like a villain. I eventually ended up giving a name for her, but I'll tell that story later. It's very fucking funny and intense. But yeah, and I eventually named her Terminator Bunny. Oh boy, I can't wait to tell that story. But yeah, like that's why I have an alter ego. It's a very altruistic purpose. And you'll find it like both personalities, even though they're complete opposite. They're entertaining and they balance each other out. They need to be there. I also have other personalities that I've created because the more different personalities I have, the easier it is for me to adapt. And yeah, as I say, you know, it's not the ones who are often the fittest that survive, it's the ones that are the most able to adapt. And that's something that I really I agree with and took on board. I kind of see that I've kind of created like, I see life as a chess game, and by creating different personalities, I have more chess pieces that I can move around in situations where I must defeat a bad guy in a power play. And yeah, like some of my friends say that it's like talking to 10 different personalities at once when they talk to me. And I'm not gonna lie, it's very amusing to have different personalities. Like, I know it can come across as borderline personality disorder, which I get, but how they came about is much more complex. It's much more it's very strategic. There's a lot of rational and logic tied to it, and yeah, well, how many characters do I have? I've got Terminator Bunny, and then Terminator Bunny herself. She likes to play. She's an actor, or she loves acting, so she plays many different characters within the Terminator Bunny character. She loves playing evil villain characters. And then I've got Matrix Dragon, I've got Wizard, Wizard Bunny, I've got the Professor, who's like very mature and doesn't really gel well with my other personality. She's very, very like strict and very she doesn't really, yeah, she doesn't party as much as the others. She's very nerdy and yeah, it's interesting. It's very fun to have them all. But I gotta say, Terminator Bunny is probably my favorite. Yeah, she's actually, I kind of worship her. Oops.